Live now. Hello, welcome to the Node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting for, what is it? November the 8th, 2017. I am Jeremiah Sinkpeel, and I am chairing for a couple of weeks instead of Michael Dawson. So yeah, on the agenda today, we have a bunch of stuff. So I guess we should, since we've been doing this recently, do a call for any announcements anyone has to make. Short, so if you're not speaking up, I'm guessing no.
Actually, I'm just going to announce that Franziska suggested the next Collaborator Summit might be at JSConf EU in June 2nd and 3rd, 2018. So just to put that out there as an idea that's being floated around.
I think it's we are settling. We can talk about it, but
okay.
One close the door, please.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. I just wanted to put out that JSConf EU has the dates for early June, and I want to put the idea in people's head to meet for another Collaborator Summit. So I'll open a separate issue where we can discuss everything then. Thanks.
Sorry, Franziska. I didn't realize you were on the call. Sorry about that.
No problem. I was too slow to speak up anyways.
Wasn't there already an issue somewhere where that was being discussed, or was that?
There is already an issue being discussed on the summit repo, and it's we have myself, Dan Shaw and myself are already in. We are in, and I think Tracy, we are already talking to Dan. We have an email thread going on, so with them, for the logistics part of it, so where to do it and stuff like it. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't aware of that. Too many repos.
It's still good that we talk about it, because if we want to send us from the collaborators, we need to start ventilating the idea that they might want to come to that event. So they need to plan that.
It would be fantastic if we put a high priority on making sure as many of the TSC members as possible are there.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and the discussion was around whether that was too late. So I mean, I haven't looked recently, but it was definitely one of the initial suggestions. There was some comments about whether there was anything we could do earlier, but I don't know if it's progressed since then. But that's probably the place to continue the discussion, right?
I think we are going to do at JSConf EU. There is no other main event we can attach it to that is more or less close to reach. So, it seems at this point, and also historically, for historical reasons, doing it at JSConf EU makes a lot of sense.
So let's move the discussion to the issue which has been pasted into the chat in the Summit repo. There is the issue that the Summit repo may not be the most visible place, but I guess we can just mention people, and that's a conversation for another day. But that's one thing I wanted to make sure got aired. I want to make sure they didn't get forgotten. So there you go.
Okay, awesome. I suppose we should move into stuff then. Yeah. So unless there's anything else. Going with no. All right. So on Node.js Node, we have an issue. It's recurring of stream move prefix files into internal/streams. Is there any progress on this that is discussable?
Go with it.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't talk about that. It's already being blocking up, and it's just waiting for some other things to settle before. It's on me, and I don't have much time at this point. So
okay, so I'm going to take the TSC agenda label off of that if no one beats me to it.
No, it's TSC review, not TSC agenda.
I'm pretty sure it's agenda because otherwise it wouldn't have ended up on here.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So,
okay. Yeah. So if you don't mind,
it was automatically generated. So yeah, we can just take it off.
Okay, cool. So we're not going to talk about this topic today unless somebody has something to say right now.
Well, they haven't had anything to say for many weeks, so drop it in the issue if you have anything to say. That's issue 11957. All right, moving on. Node.js/TSC. Issue 399, initial version of strategic initiatives.
Yeah, I think we started the discussion on that last week. I think the point out for discussion still is what the scope of things that we include in those strategic initiatives would be. There's some concern that, if we have too big a set, then we won't have enough focus. So I think that's where the ongoing input and discussion needs to go, is like, the list that we have there, is that the right size list? Are there things we should take off that list to be more focused? And you know, I think it's still on the TSC agenda because it's something we want to close on fairly soon. At least in my opinion, we want to have a section in the agenda where we go over those. And so even if we have the wrong list, you know, I might suggest that, you know, we don't wait for 2 months trying to figure out the right list. We put it on the agenda and start discussing them. And, you know, we find out that that's not the right list, that'll probably make it more obvious and we can take things out. But I guess at this point, I'd say, you know, if people can jump in and comment in the issue, that would be good.
So James has something to say. Say it, James.
Yeah, I would just say that, you know, I would rather just go ahead and get that landed and do that iteration.
Yeah, that's what Michael said in the issue too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, let's not keep the this ongoing discussion, but just don't land that one and then iterate.
So my suggestion might be, like, what I would say is get in there, make those comments to say, let's just go ahead. If it doesn't happen before I get back, like I'm away next week, but if it doesn't happen, you know, somebody could do it and we could add it to the agenda. If that doesn't happen the week I'm back, I will add it to the agenda in whatever form we have. That makes sense?
Yep. All right. Okay. Oh, does Mateo have something to say?
I passed the link. We should definitely talk about that. It's a pull request to add CommonJS compatibility, and I don't know if money for a module for ES6 modules.
So you're adding something to the agenda.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we may not be prepared to talk about that, and that might have to go to the modules thing, but we can figure it out. Okay.
No, I just want to put it to the attention of everybody.
Cool.
Please chime in, because there is Bradley that has put a formal -1 on it. So today, so it's something that we need to make our opinion on very likely for next meeting. So it's something that we might want to invite Bradley for next meeting.
Okay.
To talk about the stuff. Okay. That's more or less.
I'm gonna put TSC review on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the strategic initiatives, then, are we good to maybe put some of that on the agenda next week to briefly go over? Does anyone feel strongly in favor or not in favor of doing that already next week?
I would not be in favor of delaying it further. I just think we just need to take that open PR. If there's any nits, correct the nits, get it landed, and then iterate through additional PRs.
I think Michael should take the action item of landing it and figuring out what to do with it at the meeting he's going to chair 2 weeks from today. If that's okay with Michael.
That fits perfectly with me. I just wasn't speaking up because since I'm not going to be at the next meeting, I didn't want to volunteer to have something happen or not happen. But yeah, I'd be quite happy if, you know, we leave it till then. When I get back, I'll land it. It'll be on the agenda, and I'll figure out who I can try and ask to talk to those, or how we kick it off, and I'll be there to lead that. So that would work well for me.
Okay, cool.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Node.js/admin issues. So we have issue 25, fixed case of extensions on internal docs, move COC to admin repo. Where is this at?
Sorry, did we miss or maybe it's further down, the one about the governance?
It's off the agenda.
Yeah. Oh,
My
it's off
understanding.
Off the agenda. We took it off.
Okay.
Is there anything that anyone in particular has to discuss right now about the governance working group thing?
I only asked because I know there was some discussion about inviting Dan. If it's off the agenda, then
Dan was here. He left. We took it off the agenda.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm out of the loop then.
Do we have a date for the meeting? Has that been decided yet? Because I know that a bunch of people filled that out last week, but a date hasn't been decided yet. And I know, at least for myself, my times that I filled out on there are slowly becoming no longer relevant. So I'd like to push that we pick some dates there as soon as possible. And if that's not able to be done, I'm more than happy to pick that up and move it forward.
It's been darn near impossible to do over the past couple of weeks. So, my plan for getting that effort to reschedule rebooted is going to start on Monday.
I will not be available for the next 3 weeks. So
Okay. And you're not involved for the next 3 weeks.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So
Wait. So Miles was offering to pick up the scheduling thing, and you're saying you're going to pick it up Monday. So who's doing this? You are. Okay. Is that okay with you, Miles? James is going to pick up scheduling the meeting on Monday.
Yeah. My only concern is we may want to give out an email to everyone who signed it, because I know at least myself and Sarah, our availability is no longer what the availability was last week. So, we need to go and fix that schedule up again.
Okay. All right. I took notes. Let's see. Oh.
Okay.
On the issue of the admin repo, thing on that one. So that was doing two things. One was just some general cleanup, and the other was moving, I think, the code of conduct over to the admin repo. I'm the one that raised the concern on that, which is why I think it's on the agenda, that I would prefer that it's not a hard preference. I'm okay with if there's consensus on moving it. I would tend to prefer the code of conduct to remain in a TSC repo, because there needs to be a perception of the TSC owning that process in terms of owning the responsibility for making sure that it's actually enforced. I think it's too easy for us to just say that's somebody else's problem if it's over in another, it's over somewhere else. Again, it's not a hard objection, but I just think that we need to be deliberate about it if we're going to move it, and we need to make sure that we're still prioritizing enforcement of that.
Yeah, for me, it was mostly if we have the moderation guidelines and all the other stuff living in the admin repo and everyone is using the same code of conduct, it just doesn't make a lot of sense for me for it to live in the technical steering committee repo as opposed to the admin repo. And having it live in two places creates the possibility of a delta being created between the documents, which is already starting to happen in the moderation repo. So I personally like to see it live in one place. I'm personally less concerned about the feeling of it not being an ownership of the TSC, but I do appreciate and understand that concern.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the side that I think we wanted the admin repo. We want to be common with ComCom, but if we need to add some words to where we reference it that make it clear it's our responsibility to enforce it, that might help. Because agreed, it's not an attempt or should not water down our responsibility in any way. So I don't know, James, you think if there was some wording that we added with the link that, basically say, we're responsible for doing this across the repos, but it's over here because it's common.
Okay, so this all sounds like something that can be discussed in GitHub. Is there like a hard decision or a real informational thing that needs to be decided today?
Well, I will say what I will say is that I am not going to object to moving it. I mainly want to make sure that the concern is addressed. So if there is some language in there, then great. But it's more of we as a body have to confirm that yes, that we're not giving up that responsibility, right? So it's more of an expectations thing on us than anything that has to do with specific language. That makes sense?
Yep. I'm certainly on the same wavelength as you. And, if you're looking for individual people to say yes, we still are responsible for sure.
I will. I'll add some language to the pull request to the TSC repo to make that even more explicitly clear.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Is there anything else that needs to be talked about on that one?
Sounds like we're good.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. So, and now the last issue that's currently on the agenda, also in the admin repo issue. No, this is not in the admin repo. Okay, this is in the Node.js/Summit repo, issue 56, which is Node.js Collaborator Summit in Berlin before or after JSConf EU. just an extension of the discussion from the announcement.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to discuss. I think it was just informational and to raise awareness. Is that right, Franziska?
Yes, and we already did that at the beginning.
Okay, so I have a comment from live chat, which with a concern that I also share. So Tierney says, I'm worried about being able to get a ticket for JSConf EU since they go fast. I'd like to attend, but I'm not sure if they'd be able to get a ticket in the brief window they are available. They do go a lot faster, I know, than like the than the events that we've so far done collaborator summits around. So I mean, I'd kind of like to hear about that too.
So Matteo has something to say.
So we will bring this discussion over when we talk with the JSConf EU organizers, so that there can be maybe, I hope we can have a certain number of allocated ticket that collaborators can buy, or something like that, if that is possible for them, which have not.
Yeah, and I think
But
their
you
tickets
don't-
already started selling tickets.
No, I don't
so
think so.
I thought they sold the first
They
batch.
sold tickets today, but you don't need a ticket to go to the summit, right?
Right.
No.
Right, but if you're going all that way, you might want to like.
Yeah, exactly. You want at least that option.
For getting people to go, and also potentially for giving companies behind all of this a little bit more incentive to send their people and stuff too. So
Okay, James, go for it.
So, just reiterating the point I said earlier, is, whatever the makeup of the TSC is by that time, we need to make sure we're putting a priority on getting team members there. So, as much as possible, or if we need to, making sure that there are solid remote options for that. So I think, as we're going through the planning on this, that's something we definitely need to make, we need to include.
I'm a little, I mean, the solid remote option seems okay. I'm a little, I might be concerned about something that's not really an issue, but I'm a little worried about making the ability to like take, a number of days out of your life to travel internationally a prerequisite for TSC, like involvement,
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that it's that's not the spin I'm putting on this. It's just that we need to just make it a priority to try to get them there.
Yeah, I think certainly anybody who is able and wants to attend, we should make sure that they can.
Yes, and
Yeah.
encourage. I would say that if everybody that came over, like for the conference or other events, it's good if they show up. Okay, like that. I think it should be like make their best.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah, make their best to come.
okay.
I think that's
Pretty
it.
short meeting today then. Does anyone else
just
have
a-
anything else?
Hey, Matteo, just quickly, have you already been speaking with the JSConf organizers, or would you like me to reach out?
Yeah, we have already an email thread with Dan, myself, and John and Tracy.
I'm looking over Matteo's shoulder, and he's literally typing an email to John and company right now.
Okay, cool. I'll let you lead that then.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Well, we can go into Q&A then, if no one else has anything else to say. All right. We'll have some live Q&A. If anyone from the live stream wants to type in a question that they haven't already posted, since there aren't any more posted yet. The upcoming meetings are now just calendar link. Okay. So upcoming meetings. So tomorrow at this same time, the Node.js Community Committee is meeting, and I believe there will be some sort of broadcast from that as well. And also
Oh my God. Go ahead. Sorry.
And also on tomorrow, the NAPI team is meeting half an hour after the community committee ends, which would be 10:30 Pacific time. I'm not sure what that is in UTC. And then into next week, on Tuesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, the build working group is meeting. And on Wednesday next week, we have moderation team meeting at 11 p.m. Pacific. The diagnostics working group is meeting at 1 p.m. Pacific. And our next Node.js TSC meeting will be at 2 p.m. Pacific, which is, what, 5 hours later than this meeting slot is, I think? Pretty sure that. All right. Well, there's no more questions unless there's an IRC. I didn't check that. Nope. So I think we can wrap this up, at least for public. So thanks everyone for attending, and we will see you next week, hopefully.
Thanks.
Yep, bye. Thanks for everybody who's listening.